So we're going to talk about Married at First Sight. But I was reading an article, an MSN article, and they talked about 10 things that a lot of fans have issues with when it comes to Married at First Sight. So number one, Ma, the show damages how people view relationships. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
You want to expand, or it's just yes?
Just going, you got 10 to read. Come on.
Okay. All right. It doesn't
want me to talk.
It doesn't value or respect.
It's a distorted view of everything from the very inception.
Okay.
You just walk up to a stranger and get married. That's already crackpot.
Okay. Well, they're saying that young people need to see healthy relationships in the media when they're trying to figure out the world.
Of course they do. And it's already unhealthy to meet somebody and marry them. It's unhealthy from the very inception because you don't even know them. So you're already going into all types of Pandora boxes, and you don't have the social supports for even that kind of situation. Whereas back in the day, they had, prearranged marriages, the families arranged marriages, everything. That was all part of a social system and a structured system where the entire communities and families supported that and were there to help you and there for this and there to listen and there to this and there to that. Now you do that, you just a crackpot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you did. You didn't know him. He could have been anybody. She could have been any type of person. Oh, you didn't know. You have no supports for that. You already fighting a losing battle from the very beginning. So of course it gives a very perverted view of what a relationship is supposed to be.
But I also think as television, and you can't really take serious what you see on TV. And I think
that's the problem. That's the problem. It blurs. It blurs the line. That's a whole part of the problem because they're saying it's a real marriage. And
that's true.
We're looking at these people hoping that they get along. And guess what? 1 out of a million do.
Okay.
So you understand? So it's an uphill battle.
Okay. So number 2, it doesn't value or respect the sanctity of marriage. And we kind of touched on that with what you just said.
Absolutely. There's no sense of commitment. There's 8 weeks and I'm out. There's no sense of privacy. Here's Dr. Pep, Dr. Vivi. Well, used to be Dr. Vivi. I'm sorry, she left. Here's Pastor Cal. Here comes Devin Franklin looking for answers for his own stuff, I'm sure. And on and on and on, and new doctor and all that. All that's a perversion of what really goes on in a brand new marriage.
Well, let me segue into that, Mom, because the environment is too stressful for new relationships.
Absolutely.
Obvious. The cameras, the interviews.
Did you say you love him?
Right.
Did you go to bed with him yet?
Right. Can you please do that again so we can record that?
When did you last go to bed with that man that you don't even live in the house with?
Right.
Go ahead.
This is too much.
Pastor Cal, when you last been home? You on the road all the time. When you last been home? But Dr. Vivi, that's why Dr. Vivi left. She said she want her man. She going on by home, or woman, or whatever she got. She said she going on home later for that show.
Number 4, the experts select people that lack commitment or have other roadblock issues.
Always.
Obvious.
Obvious. Half of them got a husband or wife at home.
Or no, they don't. No, they don't.
They got other. Listen, they got other people they seeing.
Well, how about
other people they see? Wait a minute, and they don't even stay in the same apartment with them no more. They used to move in with them. Now they like, hey, look, I'm going over my crib. I see you later. No, it's ridiculous.
Well, I think that they all have, a lot of them have commitment issues, which is why they came to a
commitment to the people that they marry, but they all committed to other people.
No, they're not.
Some of them all don't hear me that. One of them came on there and he had a woman pregnant.
But then that faded away. Something about that wasn't right, remember?
Well, whatever they wanted to do.
Was it Chris?
Whatever. Yeah, Chris. But wait, you can say what you want to say. Chris didn't spend any night with Paige. He didn't even move in.
Okay, something else, Ma. This one is real silly. There's too much. I'm glad you're entertaining yourself. Good, Ma. There's too much corny music.
I can't even hear the damn music for all the nonsense going on. You may be right. Whoever said that, I can't even hear their music for all the nonsense. Go ahead.
The experts can be
But you
snippy.
are right. Whoever said that, good music would help out the show.
Yeah, the experts can be snippy with the cast. I don't think they're snippy enough with the cast.
As far as I'm concerned, the experts are very chill. But you know what? A lot of times the experts don't deal with what the real problem is.
Mhm.
And a lot of times the experts, they don't call out people for what they see is going on. You know, a lot of
No.
times they skirt right over. A lot of times the experts act like they have a script
Mhm.
that you know that they have written out beforehand. So they just read from the script and ignore what really did happen between the couples.
It's
You know,
almost like, yeah, like I've seen Pastor Kyle just say, oh, well, it's not that bad. Just work through it.
yeah.
Don't worry, it's going to get better. I'm like, no, it's not going to get better.
I,
Y'all are
I,
not
I
compatible.
love how they are right now, sitting there with that Morgan acting like she's a loving person and she's like a dragon spewing fire, and they haven't said a word to her. And they
He's like
acting
a
like
little
Ben,
demon or
yeah,
they
and they act
have her on
like
the
Ben is the
show.
one who's in need of this, that, and the other thing. And in fact, Ben is a sweetie.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
Morgan is
listen,
a
Morgan.
horror.
Morgan, we don't
Morgan is
know you.
terrible.
You came on the show, no disrespect, but the way you're acting on the show is not good, young lady. Not good.
Yeah, I agree.
Number 7, some pairs are created just for drama. Now, sometimes they have pairs of their mind who are just complete opposites. Like literally, they'll say, oh, I want somebody that's stable, and then they'll bring somebody that doesn't have a job.
Everything
Or
that
I
you
want
keep saying
kids. The
is
other person
totally
doesn't want
correct.
kids.
There's only one thing I'm going to add to that. I think most of them are created for drama. Not just a couple. They have gone the route that almost all of them are just for drama.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, sweetie.
Number 8, there are people who are only there for themselves,
Yeah,
for
like
the
we just
fame,
said.
for the
Yeah,
fame.
yeah, the
We
cat.
just, we just
Right.
kind of said that's pretty much all of them, right?
Yeah. At least 9 out of 10.
Production is too demanding. Number 9.
I don't know how much is production and how much is them. I mean, it is a production.
Remember we saw Paige. Remember Paige and Chris, and she was leaving Chris.
And production told her to go
To
back
go
over
back
there.
over.
But I don't think production could really call that if it was, if it was a different type of person. I think they call that BS on Page because it was Page. I've heard production try to calm things down and the person wouldn't calm them down. Remember that old nasty one, Alyssa, that was over there? Get him away from me.
Yeah. I was a good person. You mean the woman that's calls herself a good person? The
Really good
self-proclaimed?
person. Right.
Yeah.
That really good person. They couldn't do nothing with her. Hey, they couldn't make Chris go sit his ass down and go on over there. They could, some of them production, it depends on who it is, because some of that production cannot deal with, right?
Yes. And finally,
That they're gonna call in security,
the experts seem to overlook and normalize toxic behavior.
all the time. I co-sign on that 1,000,000% all the time. Let's keep the show going. Oh no, just because he called you a bunch of bees and refused to stay in the house with you and told you need to go wash and everything else. Hey, no, that's fine. That's just love talk. Oh, y'all will be all right.
Yeah, it's love talk.
I look at Dr. Pepper. Look, I don't even live in a house with my husband. He lives over.
How about that's not normal?
I don't know what year I even saw him, and we're fine.
But how about that's not normal?
And somebody said to Dr. Pepper, I think it was Pastor Cal said, I didn't know that. She said, yeah, why don't you do that? We don't live together. He lives with those other 5 women.
Hold on, say why can't she live with 5 men? Why are you always calling out the man?
I'm not finished. And I live with my lifelong butler.
Butler? What?
Chauffeur, whatever man, whatever name.
Why can't she have 5 men?
Well, she's in love. He's just hoeing. So it's a big difference.
Oh, good, man. Good. Okay.
Oh my gosh. When
all right.
You live in the house with her husband. That was hysterical. I'm like, oh God, Dr. Pepper. They got you up here advising people. Good.
Right. So let's just talk. We don't have to go too deep in if you want, but let's just get into the current couples on Married at First Sight.
Let's go.
Lindy and Miguel.
I don't know
What?
what's up, but they seem to, look, you say what you want to say. They the most pleasant ones they got up there.
Yeah, but I'm
I
not
mean,
feeling them.
I'm
They're
not
very
saying, I'm not saying
they're
that
not
they're a good
exciting.
couple. I'm not saying that they're a good couple, but out of the bunch up there,
Yeah.
the standards are very low,
Yeah.
So, hey, at least they're together. And Miguel says he really, likes Lindy. He's really into her, whatever. I mean, they skipped all about what happened about the insurance and all them fights. And I don't even know what happened to any of that, but
Yeah.
whatever. So they was
I'm
out dancing. They was going over dancing this past episode. So good. Let them go dance on. Mhm.
Sasha and Nate, they just seem corny to me.
Let me tell you one thing. Nate did one thing that I just totally respected, and that was when he called out Morgan. He said,
Oh,
"What's with all the anger?" He said, "Every time I see you," he said, "I see Ben and he's calm and he's talking and everything. I see you and you spewing fire.
Yeah.
Every time, you're always so full of anger. What really is this? Well, I'm hurt. And it was like, no, but no, what is all that? And nobody else called her out on that. And she's
Yeah,
been a
right.
nasty person from the very beginning. And you know what? And there was a little bit of foreshadowing because she was nasty when Ben was sick. She had said something, I forget what it was, but it showed a lack of sensitivity, a
Yeah.
lack of empathy when he was sick before they had even met each other.
Oh, yeah, with COVID, you mean?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. And she said something that was very cool. I can't remember, but she said something that showed that she was not a caring person. So, and I respected Nate for saying that because he called her on it and it was true. It was
Yeah.
not biased or anything. He called her on what was true and what should have been apparent to everybody, but nobody called her on it.
Yeah, that's true.
Even Dr. Pep and all those, nobody called her on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, go ahead, sweetie.
How about Mitch and Christian? And I don't know. I think that Christian seems to be very level-headed. And Mitch is trying.
Yeah.
I mean, the way he started and the way they are now, it seems like it's a possibility that they could work things out. Like to me, out of all the couples, they seem to be the most realistic.
Yeah, I'm so surprised that they've made this type of progress. And I'm surprised in a good way because whatever's going on, you can see them making an honest effort with the communication. And really like that. Neither one of them just shut down. They had their fusses, their fights, their nasty attitudes, this and that, but neither one of them shut down. They still at it and talking and, well, let's see what we can do. Well, let's see what we could, and I like that because as long as you can communicate, almost everything is possible. They still in the same, under the same roof, they live together and they talk together and they do things together. So, let's see. They've made a big change. Kristen is not letting him pull his bull crap 24/7. She's speaking up for herself and he's, stopping and thinking a bit, before he come out his face with all his nastiness and selfish nonsense.
Okay, well,
it's certainly the most improved couple.
for sure. And finally, well, not finally, Alexis and Justin. I was really upset. And we talked about this when Justin surrendered his dog, or when he kept didn't take his dog back. I really didn't like that. Listen, he had the dog for 7 years.
I didn't.
He knew this woman
I
for
said to
7
myself,
minutes.
"Are you out of your damn mind? Chances of you being with this woman 7 years are almost zero. Are you out of your mind and you let your dog go?" I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it. I would have, and then, and he left his dog out there. Then, they had said that the plan was that he was going to maybe bring the dog back. If it didn't work out, the dog would go over with his friend. Or they had all these other different plans that was so much more kind and humane. And you leave your dog out there on that farm with them, what is that? I couldn't have done it. I couldn't, and the dog didn't kill anybody or didn't wound anybody to that extent.
And Alexis, as a dog lover, to me, like, she's a fake dog lover, because if she's a dog lover, she wouldn't have advocated for that. She wouldn't have, because she was just before like, oh, well, it's either me or the dog. She was saying all that stuff before. And
I'm
so
not
I'm
going to
like,
say any place where I don't feel safe. Alexis is doing nothing but just looking for any excuse she can.
She don't like that man.
On decision day, she can say, oh, well, A, B, C, D, E, I'm out.
Yeah.
And you know what? If he has even a pea brain, he'll say, good. He'll say, let me stick to my agreement to hang out for 8 weeks and go through this process. And at the end of that 8 weeks, if she doesn't say I'm out, which I'm pretty sure she will, he needs to say, I tried it, not for me.
Yeah.
Not this time.
I don't know, because Justin is easily manipulated by Alexis, and he.
Well, you know what? Then he
too
will
much
suffer.
with her.
Let me tell you something, baby. Then he will suffer. We all suffer when we do foolish things.
Yeah.
We pay for it. We pay the price.
Yeah.
So I don't care who you are. When we do foolish crap, we all pay a price. Okay.
That's true.
So if he's gonna hang out with her, if he's gonna stay in that relationship where he sees that it's nothing but him constantly apologizing for what? For some phantom BS that he never even did. And he's always apologizing to her, but yet she's never wrong. It's never anything. Anything he does is never good enough. It's never right. I'm hurt, babe. Well, hurt for what? Hurt for what? No, she's full of it. And then he's going, you see, he's a goofball. He had a 19-year-old brother beating on him, and he was 13.
He was 13, right.
So, he's already tender and goofy. But let's just say he's grown beyond that, okay? Because
he's in his 30s.
So let's just say he's grown beyond that. But then she's gonna come over here and manipulate you and this and that and everything. That's you, baby. We all got one brain, so whatever.
Okay. And finally, the last couple is Morgan and Ben, and we didn't have anything good to say about them. Obviously, Morgan is
walk away, Ben.
Something is wrong with Morgan, the way she handles things.
Ben is nice, but I don't think Ben is sexually or physically attracted to her. I don't think he finds her.
Why is he trying to work it out with her, Ma?
Well, because he's that nice guy. You understand? He's that nice guy. But the way he referred to her, and when they talked about sexual.
I don't believe that there's that many nice guys. There are some, but
he's a nice guy.
He is behaving nicely with her, but
like he's easygoing on this show.
Yeah, he's easygoing
because she should have been told off a long time ago.
Oh, for sure.
And he's just been apologized. He's another one. Between him and Justin, they're almost birds of a feather.
That's why they're friends.
Well, then there you go. Sometimes opposites attract too, but they have very similar personalities. He's always apologizing to Morgan for what? Why is she so hurt? She started the lion ball rolling. If you want to talk about who started the ball rolling, she told the first lie, talking about she had some type of credential she didn't have, whatever it was.
Right.
Now, I don't say that was a huge lie, anything like that, but she lied. Has his lies been that big? His lies have not been big.
No. Well, see, my issue is that most people have somebody that they can talk to about what's going on in their life.
Deprive him of a confidant, of course.
Right. And she's like, why don't you come to me?
Need to shut the hell up, because is Alexis supposed to be going back telling her?
Right.
I'm not even sure about that.
Right. That should have been a private conversation between husband and wife.
So what is going on with all that? And then I don't think that Ben is saying anything that outrageous about this woman. I don't think he's saying anything that outrageous. He may be frustrated. He may be venting. And so what?
Yeah. Well, I said,
I'm hurt. Have these people ever been in any relationship before?
Doesn't appear that way, Ma. They appear very immature.
Alexis, she's had 3 marriage proposals. I believe that, like I believe that the moon is purple. And we've had different color moons, but I've never seen it purple yet. Okay.
Well, I mean, maybe when she was a kid, somebody asked to marry her.
Those little thumb weddings.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
She hasn't had any serious adult marriage proposals. No way. Because anybody who gets to know her, they ain't trying to marry her. No.
Well, it's not a good look, and I don't like how I don't like how Alexis is treating Justin. I sure don't like how Morgan is treating Ben, because she's
outrageous.
She's too immature to be married.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Stasha and Nate, I'm really not sure even how to assess their whole thing. I was feeling Nate's father. I thought he had just a wonderful attitude when he said, how could he not? He wanted his children with him, and I love that. I love that because she was saying, oh, how did you do it? How'd you as a single father? And he
Mhm.
was like, I had to. How could I not? I wanted my children with me. And I was happy, I was loving him for saying that. That was really good. And you can see how, there's some sensitivity, has been instilled in Nate by way of example, you know.
Yeah.
And so not that he's hypersensitive, but there's some level of sensitivity, and I do like that. So now those two together, I don't know, but that little interaction with Nate's father, I liked a lot. I like that a lot.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens with the next episodes, but to me, this last episode was just okay. It was all right.
Oh, it was a big snooze fest. I mean, it was
Yeah.
nothing exciting, we got to look at some things and they were able to share some of their insights.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and check out full episodes of the Bamgboshe Happy Hour podcast, streaming on most platforms.